Hey guys, Ashley with Amare. So few resources for you guys. We are located in Elizabeth and Highland Park, New Jersey, and I also offer virtual consults. So if you guys need my help, give the office a call, 732-841-0142, and our scheduling coordinator can help you get set up with an appointment. We also have our online shop. So all the products that I talk about in my videos, those are all in our online shop for you guys to purchase. On our Instagram, Amare Healing Arts is our Instagram. All the products are linked right there in our bio. Also, the online shop is linked, and it's linked in the description box for each video. So you guys can go and check those out. And then we have our online course school, the Post-Op Academy. So all of the things that you would need to know post-op, we are doing online courses for. So things like what kind of massages you need, when you need to get them, who to get them from, how to find a therapist like me, all of that we have online courses for. There are going to be more courses coming out all the time. So check in on that to see what's new and what you guys can learn. If you like my videos, all of those courses are exclusive content. All those videos are exclusive content. None of them are on YouTube. They're all in our courses. So that is amarehealingarts.teachable.com. The link for that is also in the description box, and it is also linked in our bio on Instagram. So I hope you guys enjoy the content. Ashley with Amare. I will see you soon. Bye. Hello everybody. It's Ashley with Amare. Okay, so today I have one of my best friends, but also client, who shall not be named because we don't name anybody in videos, but she's going to give you her real life, full blow-by-blow review and experience of Sono Bello, what she had done at Sono Bello. So a lot of you guys will go and get lipo at Sono Bello. Sono Bello and Elite, I have a bunch of videos on as far as me going through their aftercare sheets, what they are. For those of you guys who don't know, they are a very big franchise that does liposuction. They offer lipo, they offer fat transfer to the breasts, skin removal, BBLs, all the standard things, right? And their whole MO is that, and their whole like marketing, right, where everybody gets this wrong, which is why I do all these videos, is because they will sell you guys on the fact that it's no downtime, on the fact that you don't need garments, on the fact that you won't have complications or fibrosis, because it's minimally invasive. It's not non-invasive. They are going into your body. It is invasive, but it's minimally invasive. It's supposed to be better than all the rest, right? So we're gonna go over what I've been telling you guys in every video, that that is not correct. It is still surgery. You still need garments, you still need foams, you still need massages. The recovery is still 6 to 8 weeks. Just because you can go back to work the next day does not mean you are healed and ready to go and up and out. Even if, and this goes for, because I know in other videos I've said this, but this goes for if you had a patch done of liposuction on your abdomen versus 360 all the way around, yes, the amount of work that you are getting done will contribute to the amount of downtime you're going to have. I do have another video coming out with a client who only had a patch done. And guess what, guys? Her downtime is still longer than 6 to 8 weeks because they don't teach you how to take care of it afterwards. They downplay it. They tell you it's not a big deal. They tell you, oh, it's just, you know, this light little procedure, but then you wind up with lumps and bumps. You wind up with fibrosis. You wind up with swelling. You're in pain. You never get your results. And all these things that you guys keep coming to me for, and all the things on the aftercare sheet that I did the video on, talking to you about, like, all the things they tell you to do that make it really hard to recover, get in the way of your recovery, and cause complications. So we are going to hear from her today directly about her experience, what happened. Now I want you guys to keep this in mind. I see 5 brand new out of Elite or Sono Bello every week people who just had surgery that have these same exact problems. If any of you guys know me, if you've watched any of my videos, if you've seen me in person, you know that I am constantly talking about this because it is not what you think it is. It doesn't mean it's bad, doesn't mean you will not get the results you paid for, and it doesn't mean that there's anything wrong with getting surgery at these places, but you have to be informed. So we're going to talk about everything that she went through, and why she ended up finding me, because they won't tell you to get massages, or they'll tell you to do it yourself, and then that makes it worse. So we're gonna hear all about it. So you went to Sono Bello.
Yes.
When?
My procedure was August 29th of 2023.
Okay. And what did you have done?
I had the 360 done.
360 lipo.
Yeah.
And the skin removal.
And the skin removal. Yes.
Okay. And did they do the skin tightening with that? Their air sculpt Plus, whatever that is, Tri-Sculpt Plus, because that's a new thing.
No, they didn't do it with me.
Okay, so you just had straight lipo all the way around, and then you had the skin removal on the bottom for the loose skin.
Correct.
Okay, and we had this done
August of 2023.
Okay, so going in for like pre-op, how was that? How was like the pre-opness?
The pre-op, you know, you're meeting your doctor for the first time, and he's, well, in my case, he you know, telling me about the procedure, what to expect, looking at my previous picture or looking at my original picture, reviewing the areas that they're going to be removed, you know, that they're going to work on, and that was pretty much it. And then how to prepare for that, for the procedure, what to do, what not to do.
Like your standard.
Even talking about my nails, because at the time my nails were really long, and the nail color. He mentioned keeping the nail color light. I thought that was weird.
Okay.
Didn't question it, but whatever.
Right.
I overlooked it because I wasn't changing the color anyway. So in my mind, I thought it was weird, but moving on.
Okay. All right. That's like I know they have like all these weird things. Every once in a while, I hear some craziness, and I'm like,
yeah,
makes no
my
sense.
nail color.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Fine. So when they saw you pre-op, did they explain the procedure to you?
Yeah, he explained the procedure. So it's been a while, but I'm going to try to remember. He explained the procedure. He explained, you know, basically like how the day would look like. You come in, you get weighed, you do the pictures again. He's gonna come in, do the colors, then the nurse comes in, starts prepping me for the procedure, giving me the medicine, and then I go in. Procedure's about 2 to 3 hours, and then they throw the garment on me, send me home.
Okay. But did they explain to you what they're actually doing to your body as far as like the liposuction and the skin removal? Was there any like education on what's actually going to happen to your body?
Yeah, I mean, he basically told me like they're going to stick the probes in, it's going to suck out 5 liters. That's the most Jersey can do. And then I don't remember much of the skin removal, like as far as
what they told you.
Yeah, but I mean, the big picture was that all the loose skin will then just be cut off and then tied together. And I mean, it was a simple understanding of what was going to take place.
Okay. And did they tell you anything about like post-op during your pre-op, like what you had to do afterwards to take care of yourself? Or
they mentioned massages.
Okay.
And when you think massages, you don't think lymphatic. And maybe they did even mention lymphatic, but at the time it didn't make sense to understand that as much as it was afterwards. But or even during the day of the operation, during pre-op, it wasn't as relevant. It wasn't what was coming up for me. So
then we had the surgery.
Mm-hmm.
Everything went great. You woke up in a garment.
And
then what?
I mean, I remember leaving. I remember my friend driving me home, and then I slept. They gave me, so I had to pick up some medicine, and they gave me am I allowed to say the medicines?
Yeah.
They gave me tramadols, and they gave me a lighter painkiller. I don't remember exactly what it was, but it was a lighter painkiller, and then some antibiotics. My friend who stayed with me, because that was one thing that she had to sign, that she was going to stay with me for 24 hours. So she took care of me. I remember falling asleep sitting up on the couch, like passing out on the couch, but sitting up. I don't do that. I don't sit up and sleep anywhere. It is a life dream of mine, but I don't do that. I did that day. So
you were like zonked.
Like don't remember. I don't remember. I actually still to this day don't remember much of it.
Okay.
I don't remember getting home, the drive, nothing. It's like an hour and a half drive.
So like after the first 48 hours, right? After like all the pain meds and everything like came down.
I don't even know if it was 48 hours. I remember having to go to the bathroom the first time in the middle of the night, and I didn't want to wake my friend up. Baby, independent. But I did it by myself. But I actually do remember how distinctive that pain was, and how like stiff. I mean, I just felt like I was a board, like an ironing board, standing up in one shot, not, limb by limb.
Yeah.
But within the first 48 hours, I remember, the pain. I remember the pain coming in, especially around the scar where the cut was.
Let's talk about the pain, because one of the things that Sono Bello says is like, oh, you weren't going to be in that much pain 48 hours after. You can go back to work the next day.
Lie.
Yeah.
Yeah, they undersold the pain, right?
Oversold the painless.
Yeah, oversold the pain.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So because that's the other thing everybody wants to know is like, okay, how is it going to be as far as pain? Now, mind you guys, she did also do skin removal. So it's the Lipo360 pain, but then it's the incision pain. We're not just talking about soreness here. This is the 48 hours after, like when you're finally like lucid to be able to remember something. So what was that pain like for that first like week, let's say?
It was debilitating. It was stiffening. It was painful. The scar, like the soreness. I always described to everyone that, because people would ask me, are you in a lot of pain? And I'm like, there's such this thin line between severe discomfort and pain. And I was always at severe discomfort.
Okay.
It wasn't so much that it hurt. It was just so uncomfortable. The scar hurt, but in my head, that made sense. It made sense. I had a cut. When I get a cut on my finger, it's painful. So it made sense for this to be pain. So my brain didn't process it as pain because of everything else. It was everything else.
So it was the lipo.
It was
which is what they say is supposed to be the least painful thing. That's what hurt the most, was the lipo.
It was the most uncomfortable. It was like, you like climbing? It was like going climbing the first time and feeling every single muscle in your body.
Yeah.
And that's what it felt like. Because I was sore from head to toe. Because, you're overcompensating. Your body's overcompensating other areas for the part of the body that can't move. Because I remember I couldn't, I had to get up. People thought I was pregnant because I had to get up in such a way.
Push up.
Yeah, I would get up this way and I would sit down this way. I couldn't even laugh. My friend who was staying with me, I couldn't laugh. So when I really needed to laugh, and I hope this is good for everyone, I literally laughed like ha 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 ha, because I couldn't move my stomach muscles, but I wanted to express the humor in the situation, and so I really did laugh like ha 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 ha, just to get the laugh out.
Sorry, this is so funny. So the pain was one thing that definitely is a thing. Like it's not like a quick little, and it was the liposuction mostly. It's not like a quick little like, oh, you'll be fine in like the next day.
They definitely oversold it. There was no way I was gonna feel better within, even if they said a week. It oversold it.
Okay, so even within that week, you were still.
I was supposed to, so I timed it right because they said a week, and I said, okay, that's perfect. That's my last week of vacation. I'll go back the next week. I was still in so much pain, or discomfort, I should say. I had to stay an extra week home. But I was able to work, and I work from home. I'm sedentary. I have a sedentary job, so it was easier to do.
And most people are going back to work, so that's not a good thing. And that's one of the qualms that we have a lot with them, is that they're like, oh yeah, you can go back, you're fine. And you're not fine. Like, you can go back, but you're not going to be fine.
Because I commute, I was scared of bumping into people. That's the big reason why I didn't go in. It wasn't so much that I couldn't move around, although I would have been moving around at a very slow pace because I wasn't moving fast. But I was more scared of the foot traffic and the people bumping into me. And in fact,
well, it's also because you didn't have any foams. You had no protection, which we're gonna get to. I know you can't wait for that. We're gonna get to that. So that first week, when was your first post-op?
It was exactly a week later.
So how was that, the first post-op? How did that go? Like, what did they do? What questions did you have?
The questions, I don't remember if I had questions. I mean, I think the main question that I had was, am I where I'm supposed to be a week in? And they took pictures, so the day of, a week in. They explained that the swelling is perfect where it's supposed to be. The scar looks good. I mean, I still had all that tape, so it was hard to see. But she did give me, the nurse did give me some advice on how to start cleaning that up. So she did. There was a little bit of helpful advice on how to for that, and then the whole massage thing. And I'll just be, from a person who has no clue about lymphatic massage, I thought, oh, okay, that makes sense, because like if I'm sore, I'll massage I'll massage that little spot. When my neck is sore, I go to a masseuse. So it all made sense. I had no idea what lymphatic massage therapy was.
What did they tell you to do for the massage, though? Like when at that first post-op, what did the nurse say about massage?
They told me to like physically speaking, they told me to massage the lower ab more above the scar, because I couldn't touch the scar yet, but with as much pressure as I could, even if it's
as much as you could stand.
As much as I could stand, even if it was nothing in comparison to what I can stand now. In like counterclockwise position. So if I'm looking down, it's counterclockwise and into my hips.
Okay.
So, and they explained it to me. You're pushing everything downwards. You're pushing everything out, right?
Yeah,
so,
which
Ashley's face just twisted.
They can see that.
Yeah.
They know that's not how that works. Don't push things into your guys. If you please, first of all, don't touch yourself after surgery. Second of all, do not push anything towards an incision site. We don't let that.
It was the other way. It was like I'll show you.
Yeah.
I know they can't see, but it was like this.
Yeah, like down towards your incision and out. Hey, don't do this.
Yeah.
Don't put pressure anywhere near an incision. Okay, thanks, bye. We're have a whole different video on that. Okay, so they told you to massage yourself.
Right, but at that time, I can barely press it. So
yeah,
for me,
you're
it was
weak
more
out,
like
you're in like massive amounts of pain.
I was caressing myself. I was not massaging anything. I was just caressing myself.
Yeah, which is honestly the best, because you're not putting any pressure on broken tissue. So that I'm happy about. One of the saving graces. Okay, so they told you just rub yourself pretty much. Did they tell you anything else as far as massages?
Not really. I mean, they mentioned that I can go see a massage to make. I can go to like any masseuse, but just make sure that they're qualified in lymphatic massage.
Okay.
So, and I'm in my head like massage envy. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Like, what do I have to ask? So I didn't have a lot. So I'm a pretty good researcher myself. So I was like, I'll just do the research myself.
Okay.
But they did tell me that at my 3 months that they started telling me about the not lymphatic, but the massage therapy that included in my package.
All right.
Which I didn't know anything about it. So they don't talk about what that is. They just, what happens is that they're underselling the massage. They're underselling the importance of the massage.
They're not telling you anything.
It's almost like they're suggesting it,
but they won't give you any information.
but they're not mandating it. And I think after my experience, it should be a mandate.
Well, here's why they don't. They're a franchise. They're not allowed to tell you where to go. That is a fact. Sono Bello and Elite will not tell you to go somewhere to get lymphatic massage done or manual lymphatic drainage. They can only tell you what it is and not even tell you what it is, because they're not allowed to, because they're a franchise. So they're never going to say, yeah, go do your manual lymphatic drainage. It's supposed to be like this. It's supposed to be here. It's supposed to be there. Go do that. They're never going to do that. They are a franchise. That is not their thing, which is why I speak about it. So that was your 1 week. You were feeling all right about the process. When did it start to not feel all right about the process? How was the next follow-up at 3 months? What was going on?
So I started realizing that my caressing of my area wasn't doing, shit. And I was like, something's not right. Like, I get the pain, I get the discomfort, but I just felt like it was going on too long. And
How
it's
long
not
was
to
it?
say,
How long was that?
I'm gonna say probably a month and a half in. So
6 weeks.
So about 6 weeks. And I was like, something's not, I'm not doing this right. And I wasn't sure like how to go about it, so I started just digging down the internet hole, and everything led me to lymphatic massage. Right? No matter what I read, everything led me. And then when I started looking for an actual, and I know we're heading in that direction, but then it was just a matter of how do I find one? What's the best way? Do I just call Massage Envy? Because that would be like whenever I needed a massage, that's where I'd run to. but then I just kind of dug deeper, and then, you know.
It was like what was. So when you went in at your 3-month, what were the problems that you were having?
Well, when I went in with my 3-month, it was post meeting you.
Yeah. Because before meeting me, you were already like up in arms about them kind of like brushing you off, and you were like, bro, what the hell, like I'm not okay.
I don't know if I was up in arms, to be honest, because here's the thing, you don't know what you don't know, right?
Well, maybe it was after I told you what you didn't know that you were up in arms.
Well, that's the thing, I didn't know, and then I met you, and now I knew what I didn't know.
Yeah.
Now I understood that I didn't. Now I
Everyone's always mad after I tell them what's wrong.
Oh, I didn't know that was supposed to happen. So before I met you, it was like, I thought it was, that's the way it is. And I didn't question it, because it's like, okay, I paid for this, I paid for that, I got this, I got that, okay, I'm getting this, I'm getting that. I'm like, all right, I guess that's worth it. But it's not so much the number that I spent, it's the entire package from beginning to end. So when I was about a month and a half in, I felt like I was, I felt like where I paid them. Like, if I paid them 50%, they left me at 50%, you know? So it's almost like that. I felt like they kind of left me. Like,
they do.
They only, first of all, they only call you and follow up with you for the first week. That's it, on a daily basis. And that's for medical and for liability purposes.
Yeah.
After that, they're like, okay, she's alive, she's good, let her go. But when I wasn't feeling better, even though I was on a slow pace of healing, I knew it was not going in the right direction when they told me.
What were you still feeling?
Oh, I was feeling the fibrosis, even though I didn't know the word of it, but I understood that it was
feeling like super, super, super hard.
Super hard.
Super painful, tender, sensitive.
Very, very uncomfortable, just always uncomfortable. I didn't understand what was going on with the garment situation, because I was getting smaller and my garment was getting bigger, so I knew I had to go into a smaller garment, and I didn't understand, like, again, how long do I put it on? Do I wear it every day? And at some point, and this is all before I met you, I stopped wearing it because I thought I was okay. And in a week's time, I was like, oh, no, not okay. Put the garment back on. And I started buying garments even like on Amazon, because, I mean, what am I gonna, SonoBello doesn't provide it, so I had to. I was like, and in my head, I'm like, damn, that's more money, you know, like, SonoBello should provide it for a certain period of time, or they give you at least two.
See, that's the
even
interesting,
stuff like that.
That's the interesting thing, and this is what I tell you guys. It's not the same for everyone every time. They're pulling all this crazy kinds of crap with everybody differently, left, right, and center. Because I will have clients that will get their first garment be a knee-length actual garment with hooks, 3 rows. Their second garment is like a bikini, Spanx, no hooks, or hooks on the sides, or zippers on the side. It's always different, and they're just giving you whatever they have. With you, which is interesting, usually they will give you a second size down. They will give you a first and a second.
In my 3 months, they did.
At your 3 months, they did.
Yeah.
Usually it's before then. It's at your 1 week. That's why I was like, that's a little fishy.
Yeah.
Because they give it to you so you have it, not...
Did they give me a smaller one?
I don't think they did. We got you in ours because at 3 months you were already with me.
Maybe you're right. Maybe they did.
They were supposed to.
No, I do have 2 from them. Okay. You're right, but it was a different garment. It was still knee length. It was still it wasn't knee length. It was the bikini,
that weird But so they gave it to you, but it wasn't for what it. And if I remember correctly, that bikini one was not covering your incision completely. It was like cutting
barely.
It was like barely coming up too high, like a swimsuit.
Yeah.
But yeah, the garments are a hot mess. We know this already. If you are going to SonoBello, you need to contact me. We need to get you garments. That is non-negotiable. There's nothing wrong with SonoBello, but they're a hot mess with the garments. They don't. It's always all over the place. They're completely inconsistent with it, and it's not what you need post-op, which we're going to talk about in a second too. So you started noticing that it wasn't going down. Nothing was changing. It was still painful. It was still tender. It was still swollen. The swelling was not getting better. It was starting to harden. The taking off the garment made it worse. So you put it back on, but it still wasn't getting better. How did you find me?
It was making the decision like something wasn't right. You know, you don't know when something is not right until you like this doesn't feel right. You know, you have to follow your gut. And then, like I said, I just went down the internet hole, and then all roads led to lymphatic massage, and then it was just a matter of Googling lymphatic massage around me. And I think you came up first, second, at least. And again, I just looked at different, and I mean, I picked you because I don't know why I picked. Honestly, I don't know why I picked you. I have an instinct, and for some reason, knock on wood, I have good luck because I'll read the reviews. I'll read, like, first of all, geographically, I'll read what you offer, but mostly I go by people's reviews. And at the end of the day, I mean, there's not a single bad review about you, you know, and in fact, it's just the opposite. And I think what first of all, geographically, this was great. So I have to say, and for my insane schedule, it was great.
You're close.
I know, I know,
people that come
I
from
know.
Miami and stay.
I know. And but it was really the reviews that drove me, and I'm like, okay, I need information. And that's what there was a lot of comments about you providing better information, and not just better, but more information that's needed for your recovery.
Yeah, the actual education part of it on like what you're supposed to be doing.
Yeah, you go in completely blind and getting these like operations, and I recognize now, and I knew then and I know now, I don't know shit about medicine. I don't know shit about surgeries, and here I am just saying, sure, cut me open, take some stuff out of me. Yeah. Oh, and then sew me back up. Absolutely.
But they don't give you any education.
You very little education.
They don't tell you anything to do post-op. I mean, you guys saw the video that I did about the recovery, what their recovery sheet is. They do not help you post-op, point blank.
No. They encourage massage, but they don't explain it. They don't explain it so that we understand how important it is not to massage ourselves, but to get lymphatic massage therapy. It's very different from massages. So us, you know, non-surgical, non-medical people who don't have medical degrees, who don't have, you know, medical knowledge, we don't care about this shit. We're running businesses, we're lawyers, we're, you know, whatever, we're construction nurses,
moms, teachers.
Yeah, we don't care. We just want to get this procedure done because we want to feel better, look better, whatever the reason is that we're doing it. We don't go in to learn this lesson, but I think when I look back at it now, honestly, I don't give a shit about the procedure. Had I known more about the post-op, which is, let me explain something. 1 day to book the appointment, 1 day to have the surgery, 6 to 8 months to recover. So what's the most important conversation you need to have? The surgery or the post-op?
And that's what they're not doing. They're not
and
talking
that's
to you
what
about
they're
the post-op.
I think had they, however the franchise and the business and the, you know, the B2B thing is, forget that for a second. As a patient, we have our choice, but we can only have our choice if we have the knowledge base, and that's what we don't have. We come in, we're a teacher, we're a teacher in arts. What the fuck do we know about liposuction?
Nothing about lipo.
Right. They would do better with more post-op information, very clear and very mandated post-op information. I mean, even if it's not Amare or any other type of, you know, a place that provides this kind of service, you don't need to pair up with another firm or business to do this. It's really important that people understand how valuable and how necessary the lymphatic part of the lymphatic massage is, not the massage.
And the difference between what we do, actual MLD, with this fancy little map we got going on here, versus just rubbing yourself in the shower, which is what was happening and not working. But that's why we have the course. Guys, if you're watching this and you are getting surgery, everything she just said, go to our online shop. We have our online course where I will teach you all of the things that I taught her to help her recover. But so you were lost with all the things. They don't tell you anything. They downplay everything, and then you wind up extremely hard and swollen and round all the way instead of nice and curly like you are now.
Thanks to you.
So you came here.
I did.
And
October 26th.
You remember our date? I love you.
How could I forget when we met?
You're so cute. October 26th, yes. I remember it fondly. You were like a deer in headlights. You were scared. out of your mind.
I didn't know. Clueless.
You were so cute. You literally were a deer in headlights. I started talking to you about, okay, so I know SonoBello, they didn't do this, and this, and this is why you have this, and this, and let me guess, this, and this happened, and you were like, how the fuck does she know? It's literally when you said to me, you're like, how do you know that? And I'm like, because it's textbook SonoBello. You have textbook fibrosis. But seriously, like when you came in that first day, right, what were you coming in to get help with? Because after, you know, that 6-week mark, when they say you should have been back 48 hours after and you should have been fine and you knew something wasn't fine but you didn't know what, after meeting me, like what wasn't fine? What was the reason?
It goes back to that. The importance, first of all, the amount of time that's needed. And the massage time that's needed. Now, me coming in 2 months later definitely extended the process. So if you're listening, for those who are listening,
don't wait 2 months after SonoBello
do it before
to find me.
Do it before. You listen. You can have one call, one meeting, you know, one session with you,
one virtual, one
virtual before the procedure, and then come in, you know, as quickly as you can after. But I waited 2 months, and I think that definitely hindered my healing time.
Yeah.
But
we still got it done in 10 weeks. Was it?
My last appointment with you was January.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
so,
you said, and ironically my boyfriend remembers, is that you said that I would be out of the garment by my birthday, which is Christmas Day, everyone. And sure enough, I was out of it. You told me don't wear it no more.
Yeah.
So we met our goal.
Just about that 8 week mark.
Yeah, exactly.
So it still took you 8 weeks to recover when we started doing the work. So
2
either
months
way,
after.
your recovery, whether you find me, guys, 3 months out, whether you find me 3 days out, if you're with me, it's going to take those 8 weeks for your body to recover. They're not lying about that. But if you're not actually doing the things to make you recover, it's 8 weeks plus wherever you are in your healing time, not 8 weeks from surgery.
So it didn't take me 8 weeks. It took me 8 weeks plus the 8 weeks that I waited to come here.
Exactly.
So my healing time was double.
It was twice the amount because you weren't healing in that time. Your body was frozen with fibrosis, stiff like a board, like you said, and stuck. So you're not healing in that container at that point. You're just frozen in time, and everything is thickening and congealing and becoming a fibrotic mess. And then we actually get you to start healing, and it still takes your 6 to 8 weeks. Just matters when you have time to do said
and
6 to 8 weeks.
And how often you
yeah,
come for.
because if you're coming in once, it's going to take,
and in most cases, I was coming on once based on my schedule.
Once or twice, depending on the week. But, I mean, we figured it out. We finished it.
Yeah. And definitely, the more you come, the more active.
The quicker it comes off.
The more active the massage, the more times you're getting it. Of course, it's going to come off easier, faster.
So, that was a problem. The hardness when you came in, right? And not knowing anything, right? So, what were we really working on as far as, like, your, let's call them complications after surgery? The problems that you were having healing. What problems were you having with your healing that we were working on? Other than just, like, the massive amount of swelling.
And the fibrosis?
Can you explain to the people what fibrosis is like on your body, in your body, when it starts, what it feels like?
Oh, I can. I still have it under my scar. So, I mean, it's just hard mass in your skin, and I mean, it just makes you completely. It just immobilizes you. That area, you're not going to bend it. It's hard as a rock for the most part, and the stronger the fibrosis, the harder it is. I mean, as you get the massage, it starts loosening up, and then eventually it goes away.
What did we do to get rid of your fibrosis?
2 things. First, we talked and we educated, and we talked about what I can do at home. And there was a lot of drink water, stay away from salt. Drink water, stay away from salt. And drink water and stay away from salt.
It's burned in your brain.
Burned.
Forever.
Burned. Look, I just learned not to add salt. That was the big change in my life since
That's
then.
really it. Just
And
don't add the salt.
Don't add the salt. That's all I did.
That's it.
So I've stopped adding salt. The key is really disciplining yourself to drink more water. And I can tell even today I didn't drink enough, and you were even able to tell that I was dehydrated. So that makes a big difference in the recovery. As far as here it was, we just talked about, you know, as much as I can come, the more often I can come. I did the best I could based on, you know, first of all, there's finance and there's work and there's time, and you balance it out, you make it work.
We figured out a schedule that works for you, and everybody's in such a rush, like, I gotta come in every day right now. Yes, but you also have a life, you also have kids, you also have a job. Like, you can't just, you know, some people are in that phase of recovery, but that's why it's so helpful to come in before you start going back to work. That's also why it's very important that you understand, everyone out there listening, that after a procedure at Sono Bello, I don't care what it is, 48 hours is not enough time for you to go back to work. You need like 2 weeks, right? Or like...
I mean, I worked from home, so it was safer, but
well,
it wasn't easy that first week. Like, I felt... is the word exuberated? Like, I felt tired.
Yeah.
Like, I felt worn out faster. So I was very happy with the decision of not going in, because it would have been really hard for me to commute back. The second week, when I did commute back, I swear I felt like I was, like I had an imaginary, like, iron suit almost on me. And I'm showing you this, actually, but I was literally walking like this.
Like Stickman.
Like Stickman, like, nobody bump into me, yo, we're gonna have problems, yo. And I mean, it was really scary. I really was scared, because I was still so stiff in that second week. I was really scared.
And that
somebody
stiffness, by the way, is fibrosis. It can start happening 48 hours after. It doesn't always take 3 weeks to develop, or whatever they say. It can happen that quickly. It can happen directly after that stiffness, which you had a lot of when you came to me. Yeah. Like, you could feel that immediately. You could feel the difference between the swelling versus the stiffness, which at the time you just thought was stiffness. You didn't realize it was fibrosis.
Yeah.
But it does happen that quick. Part of that was your garment.
Yes.
Part of that was the salt.
Yes.
Right after surgery.
Yes.
In that first week.
Yes. Absolutely.
But let's talk about that. Let's talk about the garment situation, because that was also like a pain point for you of like, once you actually realized what a real garment was, you were like, what? What is, like, why is this not a thing? So tell me about the garments they gave you. What did those feel like?
Again, you don't know what you don't know, so you think that's the right garment, or you think it's what it's supposed to do. But I mean, look, the first day was great. Like, I just felt like I can never take this off. It's holding me together. I feel like if I take this off, I'm just gonna, like, literally fall apart. And I swear I felt that way. But they also tell you can't shower the first, I think, 72 hours or something like that.
48 to 72 hours.
So listen, people, you're literally in your garment 48 to 72 hours without taking it off. So, I mean, it actually felt good. But it felt good from a perspective of safety versus workable. Like, it was not a workable garment. It was just something.
Yeah,
and again, you think it's holding you together because of surgery, because you just had your surgery. So it's like, oh, this is holding me together, literally. But what you don't know is that it's not doing a fucking thing for your healing. It's just literally holding you together.
Yeah, it's not actually holding you. It's just not wrapped around you.
It's just, exactly. It might as well be a towel. You know, a tight towel wrapped around you, really. And that's holding me into.
Because it's holding in your tissue, but it's not actually protecting you. Because you were in that garment, and like you're saying, going back to work, you felt like you had to be protected. Like, your garment wasn't doing anything to protect your tissue. Now, what's the difference between how you felt in their garment versus our garment? When we got you into a real garment.
Well, when you got me into a real garment, you also introduced me to the life of foam.
Yes.
The foam.
Well, didn't you have, like, their little piece of...
I had no foams.
They didn't give you any foams?
There was no foams.
Another inconsistency. Usually they'll give you one floppy piece of foam.
No, there was no foam.
Oh boy, yeah, guys, they're not even giving you foams anymore. Oh no, I didn't know that. I didn't really care. I wasn't going to use it anyway, but...
No, you introduced me to the life of foams.
All right.
So, I mean, it was first of all, it was a 360, haha. But it was... we talked about what the garment is supposed to do. Which is, God, you're gonna ask me to remember. There's the shell, there's, and then there's the armor. So the shell, something like that. I don't remember exactly.
Yes, so your garment is meant to hold your tissue, not move your swelling. It's cast on a broken arm. The shell.
The shell, that's
the shell.
Oh, I remember that.
The cast on the broken arm. The foams actually move your skin to get all of that fibrosis to turn back to fluid so that when I open the floodgates during your MLD session, all that gets peed out.
I understood all of that, but to repeat it in words was complicated.
I know, and you weren't too concerned about it because you were just following marching orders, and that's all you cared about. You were already like done.
Fix me.
Yeah, you were just like, I don't care, just make it stop. So we had foams, we had garment.
Yes.
What else did we have? What else did we do? Your incision. Do you remember what that looked like?
Oh, okay. My incision. For a person who doesn't heal well, this was a big fear for me. And when I came in, I think I probably still had some of the tape still on me. And this is 2 months.
6 to 8 weeks. So 2 months, 8
Yeah.
weeks. So you had steri strips still on
I
you.
still had.
Those should have been off.
Yeah. I mean, when I had my first week post-op and they told me how to clean it, it sounds like it's easy, but it's not, because you're trying to clean the most sensitive part. It's it's a cut. You cut. You can't touch a cut. You just can't do it.
Yeah.
No matter what. And they tell you to use a washcloth and antibacterial soap.
Oh, what was the antibacterial soap doing to your skin? Remember what your skin looked like?
Well, it was really dry.
It was flaky everywhere.
It was dry. I mean, I just used it for the scar, so I had just the bar just made, and then I just used
your poor skin was a mess.
But it was not. I don't even know if it was helping me. But every now and again, some of that strip would come off. But it took, like I said, I still had it when I came here. It was 2 months.
I know.
Yeah, it was a bit much. So I don't know if that was actually done correctly, but again, following instructions, you don't know what you don't know.
Yeah.
But the scar itself, so the cut itself, I remember you telling me it was a good cut, just from looking at it, it looked good. But it was purple and red and pink.
What were you told to start using on it when it was purple?
From them?
Yeah.
Oh, they wanted me to put a strip on it.
Scar tape, right?
Scar tape,
when it's purple and disgusting.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, I didn't do it because first of all, they forgot to give it to me. So as I was walking out, but second of all, I wouldn't have done it. So
because that's not. Yeah. It's still a wound.
Yeah.
That's not what we do.
Yeah.
All right, so we got you started on the wound care.
Yep.
And it's no longer purple, which is nice. It is now pink and white. It is healing beautifully.
Yes.
What was the biggest challenge during your recovery? Besides battling SonoBello, what are your follow-ups?
I want to say the biggest challenge was not knowing was the 2 months before I met you, because I was like, this is not right. And I didn't know care,
the
how
massages,
to explain
the
it.
garments, the swelling, all of it.
Yeah, it's like I'm calling them and I'm like, and they say, basically their response is, well, it takes 6 months, it's like it can take up to 6 months. And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, okay, I can appreciate up to 6 months because I just hit my 6 months a few weeks ago. But I shouldn't be here and feel not that far ahead from when I was 2 months ago. And that's, I knew that it wasn't healing in a proper time. So something wasn't working. And I wasn't, either I didn't know how to ask a question, or I was asking the wrong questions, or I was asking the wrong person. I don't know.
You were asking the right questions because you asked me the same questions and I gave you the scientific answer. They just didn't give you an answer.
They didn't give me any answer. Their basic response is to be patient, and everybody heals differently, and most people see their full results by 6 months,
which we are now seeing.
Mm-hmm. But I honestly, and I know you haven't asked the question yet, but honestly, I can't imagine not having come here at 2 months being healed at 6 months.
Yeah, because when I saw you, the first thing I said to you after you got off the table and I did my general work through of where your fibrosis was, where your swelling was, I said, you are still stuck at week 2. You did not continue healing after week 2. Everything froze, became hard and fibrotic and lumpy. Nothing has moved since week 2. Yeah. And you were like, yeah, it's exactly what I feel like. I feel like I got better until week 2 and then everything stopped. Because it did. Because it became fibrotic and hard.
It actually got worse.
It did get worse.
Yeah.
It did get worse. Unfortunately, it got worse. So it's getting bad at week 2, guys. It's going to get worse at month 2, which is why we don't wait.
Yeah.
How were the foams? Because we talked a little bit about the foams. But
foams were, okay, at first I'm going to say this. Foams were a bit...
was it an adjustment?
No, they were a bit intimidating.
Yeah. Because you didn't have anything. You didn't have any compression. You didn't have...
And the irony is, when you start researching what I was researching, that led me to lymphatic massage. I started reading about foams. I didn't get the full understanding of it until you explained it, but I got that there's some importance there. And why would Sono Bello not even provide or mention that?
They usually slap one little memory foam on you, sticky memory foam. So that I didn't even know that until you just said that, because I never asked. I didn't care. I didn't care. We're getting you our medical grade polyurethane foams now because you have fibrosis, guys. Foams you need if you have fibrosis. Fibrosis equals foams. Use the foams. How did the foams work on your fibrosis? How did that
I'm going to
happen?
say this. This is how I can best describe how the foams work. I come here, I get the hour massage with you, I put the foams on, and it's like I never leave your table. And I know those are like a description of what
exactly
you said.
What I say. The foams are my hands on your body, pumping your skin 24/7. The foams are constantly sitting against your skin, and anytime you move, they do this in the garment, and they're constantly doing in the lymphatic pathways mapped the same way I set them up for you. And guys, that's if you are not in New Jersey and you need my help after Sono Bello or before or Elite, this is how I help. Is I teach you how to use the foams, I teach you how to buffer your garment, we get you the proper garments, because before that, you were rock hard.
Yeah.
Like, your skin would not move when I tried to move it. We put the foams in, by the next week, I was able to start doing stuff.
I will say this, when you ask me how were the foams, I'm going to say they were life-changing. Because immediately they took effect. Well, while we recognized that I sat between 2 weeks and 8 weeks, nothing happened. And when you put me in the foams, immediately, I remember coming back the next week or the next appointment or maybe the appointment after and seeing the results. Already seeing results.
Yeah.
Seeing myself shrink, seeing myself, and shrink doesn't mean that I was getting smaller. It means that the swelling was going down.
Yeah.
That I was starting to actually see the body that was
underneath all the fibrosis, all the stiff ironing board that you were.
Yeah.
The foams get rid of the stiffness. Because it turns it back to fluid, I then open the floodgates, all the water comes out, now we can see what's underneath. With you, what was underneath was more fibrosis. It was not one layer, it was everything that was completely fibrotic the whole way.
Don't wait 2 months.
Yeah, there wasn't a squishy part on you.
No.
There was all just super hard and billowed out everywhere.
Yeah.
But that's
and it was in, I have to say, it was in spots. It wasn't like I was just, bloated everywhere. I had like a chunk on the left, a chunk on the bottom, a chunk in the center. It was really awkward. And it didn't look good. It didn't feel good. And I don't mean like
too. Your skin was super sensitive.
Yeah, and it was sensitive.
So it's not always pain. It's sensitivity.
Yeah.
Like high sensitivity too, because a lot of people think it's just pain. So foams, garment. Anything else? That's it.
From this.
From
area,
that side of the screen.
From this area of questioning.
Would you do it again?
I would do it again, but I would definitely have come to you first.
Would you do it again without me?
No.
I wish you guys could see that face. No. Oh, gross.
What's that?
Gross. Ew. What is that?
What is that?
So,
do something without you?
You are going back for your 6-month follow-up.
Mm-hmm.
We are talking about doing more liposuction on your upper ribs and your back. Their revision. Because they did sculpt you, but not to the way that you talked about with them. So that is the next thing. Now, when you go back for that revision, you have the garment, you have the foams. You're obviously going to do that, and you are going to see me. Do you feel way more prepared now to handle something like that than you did before?
Oh, 100%.
Like, you're not even worried about doing the revision? Like,
I mean, I'm still, look, again, you're going under. You're always going to have worry about, getting a procedure done. But as far as the aftercare, if that's kind of where we're headed, as far as the aftercare now I feel informed. I feel
like you can handle it.
I feel like I can handle it better, and I know, the expectation is real. If I had relied on their expectation, first of all, I don't think I would be where I am today. I'm not saying I wouldn't be healed. I'm just saying I definitely wouldn't be healed to the extent where I am today. Because right now, the only thing that's left is literally the scar. And you and I believe that it's more than just slow. It's something with the procedure. It's potentially something with the procedure itself. But at the end of the day, it is still healing. It's just healing slower. And personally, I've always healed slow to bruising and cuts and everything like that. So, but as going back for the revisions, no, I mean, I know what I want. I know what we want to accomplish there. And I know I'm coming to you. You're going to tell me what to put on. You're going to tell me. We know that they're going to put me in their garment, which is fine. But we also know that within 24 hours, I'm going to get the hell out of that one and get myself into the one you're going to tell me.
Yes.
And that's really it. And then
we have a plan.
And we have a plan. And then at that point, we
go from there.
We go from there, make probably 2 appointments a week, go from there.
Yeah, probably less. Because you'll have the phones. You have me on you immediately.
Yeah, perfect.
So it's probably going to be less than that. It's probably going to be less than that.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to say about the Sono Bello part of the experience? Because and everybody knows with me, I've already ripped apart Sono Bello's aftercare sheet. I've already told you guys what you need to do. We already know the things that they don't do. Anything else you want to tell us about that Sono Bello experience as far as like their post-op care? Anything that they told you where you were just like, bro, what the fuck? Like, no.
I will say this. They're very nonchalant. So...
Too nonchalant.
I think if you decide to go forward with having a procedure done,
anywhere, not just Sono Bello.
Yeah. Talk to somebody who specializes in the aftercare. Because, again... What I said earlier is one day is you make the appointment, one day is the procedure, 6 to 8 months of recovery. You have to focus on what's going to take the longest, what's the most important to get you to the goal you want.
And they're not there.
And they're not there. So to those who are considering doing this, have a conversation with Ashley. Have a conversation with somebody, whoever specializes in lymphatic massage therapy. Because nothing is going to get those fibrosis out. Nothing. I mean...
Yeah, rollers, massaging yourself at home.
Oh, yeah, they did mention rollers.
Let's talk about them telling you to use a rolling pin on your stomach, on the hardness.
They did mention rollers, and there's YouTube videos out there on that, which is... I mean, it didn't make sense to me to use a roller. Like, I'm thinking like a baker's roller, maybe.
That's...
But what they use is those like...
the ridged ones.
The ridged ones, and I'm like, my stomach is like a big... thing of Jello right now. You want me to use like this unflat roller weird thing and just like I don't understand it. And again, the problem is, at the end of the day, when you're feeling really tense and you are desperate for a massage, you are never going to satisfy yourself.
Nope.
You have to get a professional. You have a kink in your neck, you're not going to get it out yourself. You have to go to a professional. And it's the same thing. The same rule applies. You want to get the fibrosis out, you're not going to be able to do it yourself. Can you massage yourself? Can you help in between? Sure, but you can't give the right pressure. You're not
going the right way.
Let's just say this. If you do not know that, I don't know if you want to point that out, but if you do not know that, then don't touch yourself.
She's right. I say that in every video, now she's telling me. Because even she still doesn't know. And I've explained it 7 ways to Sunday.
No, but that's, again, I'm not I'm not an MLD specialist, so it's like for me, I don't need to know these things. I just need to follow you because you know these things. That's what's important. That's, I'm not going to say that this is what I'm paying you for, but this is why I'm coming here.
That is what you're paying me for.
Yeah, this is what I'm coming here for.
You are paying me to tell you what to do for this process because you don't know the science of it. You didn't know you didn't even know it was fibrosis.
No.
You had no idea what that even was. You didn't know the word fibrosis until I explained it to you.
Right.
That it's an inflammatory process. It's a complication of swelling. It's not normal because I think you told me when you went in, you were like hard and you showed them. They were like, oh yeah, that's normal. That'll go away.
Yeah.
Like, you're fine. It'll go away.
You're right where you're supposed to be.
Yeah, you're right where you're supposed to be. And you were like, there was not a single like soft spot on you.
No.
You were, and that was at your 1 week.
Yeah.
Because I saw you at your 6th week, a little bit after that, or like 6 weeks after that, and it was even harder than it was then. Yeah. So you were completely fibrotic, and they touched you, and they were like, oh, did they even touch you?
Yeah.
Yeah, they touched you, and they were like, oh, you're right where you're supposed to be. Completely fibrotic and hard, which will turn into permanent scar tissue if we don't get rid of it.
Not that they didn't sit there and recommend, make sure you're getting massaged, and they showed me the whole, you know, get it out this way. But again, you cannot give yourself the massage that your body requires to properly heal.
You can't, even if you know how to do it, you can't.
Would you ever, if you were in this situation, would you ever give it to yourself?
I can't reach to properly do my MLT. And that's the same thing with you guys. But they don't tell you that. They tell you to just...
They underplay it. They underplay. The bottom line is they underplay the post-op. You're not going to get...
You're not going to get post-op from SonoBello.
As much... for me personally, the way I see it, as much money as I paid for this procedure, I want to see results fast. I'm not saying overnight. I'm not, I'm not delusional. But I don't want to be 2 months exactly where I was the day after my procedure.
Yeah.
Yes, am I a little smaller? Sure.
A week out.
But I'm still hard and I'm still uncomfortable and my scar doesn't look good. It doesn't feel good. I'm questioning whether it's because of the way my body heals. There's a lot of mental overthinking.
You start making things up because you don't know.
Fuck that. Just start the process right. Have the initial conversation. That person, actually in this case, will give you the information you need, not just for after the procedure, but also for the procedure, before the procedure, so that you can start your healing process before you even lay down on the operating table.
We've actually been doing a lot more pre-ops for Sono Bello because people are finding the videos and now they're like, oh, I'm about to get this done. Help. And I'm like, great, we can catch you before you're fibrotic at 2 months out. Yay!
Yeah.
But yeah, guys, so to wrap it up in a pretty little sideways bow, Sono Bello does not give you any aftercare, as we've now heard. They downplay everything. You will be fibrotic completely 360 all the way around, and they will tell you look normal, and you're healing perfectly. Then they ghost you after a week, and you go in for your 3 month, and they still tell you to rub yourself, and you're fine.
They're just very matter of fact, very nonchalant.
They just don't.
It's all very medical liability. They did what they were supposed to do. They met you at 3 months. That's it.
Okay, so you need to buy the course, go get a pack of foam, schedule a virtual with me, or schedule a post-op with me, or pre-op to help. But all the stuff that I taught you about how the garment works, how the foams work, all that stuff is in the course. You don't have to have a virtual with me to learn that stuff. So if you're getting any procedure or if you're considering lipo or anything, just go buy the course. It's $10 more than a virtual, and it's 4 hours of the same stuff that I taught you through the whole thing about why
it's worth it.
Why we're not having salt, why we're having a gallon of water or 3 liters, how that map works. All of that is in there because, well, honestly, because I started doing that with you. You were kind of the reason that started, honestly.
But I'm not the only one.
No, I know you're not.
That's the thing. It's like when you don't know what you don't know, that's scary. It's really scary.
Yeah.
Because it's not only that you're clueless, you're completely ignorant to what's going on.
You didn't know you didn't even know what fibrosis was. You didn't even know you had it.
No.
Like,
it could be damaging in the bigger picture.
It can be damaging to all of the things. And then it's permanent and you can't get it liposuctioned out. Fibrosis cannot be liposuctioned out. It has to be cut out or it cannot be. It has to be left as those lumpy, bumpy irregularities.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it was
Look,
bad.
as much money as you spend more, get the healing done right, look, at the end of the day, you make a
commitment. Are you happy with your surgery, though? After we cleaned it up and did all the things? Other than the revision part.
You know what? Ask me that question. And ask me that question after the revision. But
maybe we will do another one.
So far, yes, because there are certain areas that have drastically changed on me that has allowed me to wear certain types of clothes that I've never been able to wear as comfortably as I do now.
Good.
So I'm gonna say yes. I'm happy with the surgery. I'm happy with the scar. I'm even happy with the scar. Like I'm excited.
I'm very happy with the scar.
I'm excited to cover
Especially
it up with a tattoo. But I am. I think overall it looks good. But I honestly believe that I'm happy because you were part of it.
We worked hard for that too.
If I had not
I was
found
on top of you for all of the things.
You
I was
were.
not. It was bad.
Yeah.
It was bad
Yeah.
when you came to me.
Yeah.
Like I was not letting a single thing slide. How many times did I grill you on what you had for breakfast?
Yeah, no, we talked about it. But I'll be honest, it didn't take long.
No.
I'm gonna say within the first month we were getting in the right track.
Well, that's the foams.
That's the foam.
That's the foams. The foams do that.
And let me tell you, I sized down four garments.
Oh yeah, and there's 3 inches.
In under
6 weeks.
6 weeks.
Yeah. So you lost 12 inches.
I started in a 2XL and now I'm in a medium with you.
Yeah.
I mean, not that I wear it, but
No,
I ended up with a medium.
But each of our garment sizes are 3 inches between each hook.
So those 9
And
inches.
9 to 12 is technically you're
Yeah.
at a medium, but yeah. And it's supposed to be like that. You should be shrinking if you're doing everything right. You should be going through, and you were going through a garment a week.
Yeah.
Once we got your foams in and your fibrosis out of the way, you were reducing a garment a week. You were going
If you
down.
want to get Ashley mad, you stick 2 fingers in between your skin and the garment, and you will see her lose her mind.
Yeah, tell me it's tight as I can shove my hand down the entire front of your garment. Yeah. So great.
No, but the results are not just the procedure itself, but it's the post-op. I think that, and let me not even say I think, I know that made a significant difference, not just in the healing, but also in how my body shaped out.
But it's the difference between having somebody teach you things post-op versus you trying to rub yourself and
Trying to figure out how to rub myself, yes.
That was not happening.
No.
Well, we will do another one of these after the revision.
Okay.
Just so you can talk about the revision, because
Sure.
that's something that people want to know about too. Is like, okay, so Sono Bello, just so you guys know, if you're not happy with your results at 6 months, they will do the revision to give you what you asked for, and that is a whole different experience. That is a whole different ball of wax, because that is not always just come in, do the surgery, all right, you're done, bye. That's a little bit different of a process. So that is something else that we will do. We will talk about later.
Yeah.
That's going to be, if we decide to do it, what's going on with that.
Yeah.
We'll tell everybody the backstory about that and all of it, because that's a little different than just, get going in not knowing nothing. You're now going in knowing something.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a little bit different of a path there. But is there anything else you'd like to say before we say goodbye?
We don't say goodbye.
No, we don't say
We
goodbye.
don't say
We're
goodbye.
going to say goodbye to them. We are not saying goodbye.
If you're gonna make the investment, not just monetary, but time and energy, and because it's gonna take all of that, don't leave out the most important thing, and
Yeah.
that really is the healing part. It's not. There's nothing for pre-op, really, except being informed, and then just focus on the healing. Get through the procedure within within the first, I think you said within the first 72 hours they can come see you.
Yep.
Yeah, so, and then you start, it's a...
That first time you're like actually awake and conscious, because you weren't for the first 48
No,
hours.
I
So
was done.
after you're like awake and conscious and good, you can come in to see me. You can schedule a virtual with me if you guys aren't in New Jersey. We can still do all of this.
Yeah.
Your foams, your garment, your wound care, your incision, your scar prevention, your fibrosis, all of it.
Yeah.
All the things that I taught you and did for you, we can still do virtually. As well as finding you a therapist, which is what the course is for, to teach you how to find a therapist. And you can come see me
Yeah.
if you're in New Jersey, or New York if you're close. But other than that, you're doing great. You're doing real good, Mama. You look
Thank
great.
you.
I love you.
Thank you, I love you too.
But yeah, if there's nothing else, we will catch you guys once she does the revision, if that happens, and I'll let you know what happens with that. Even if you don't do it, and why you don't do it, and what happened with that.
My appointment's in about just a little over a month,
Yeah,
so...
like 4 weeks, something like that.
Yeah.
So, cool. All right. So if you guys need me, Ashley with Amare, 732-841-0142. You can schedule a virtual appointment with me if you are not in New Jersey, or you can schedule a in-person session, Highland Park and Elizabeth, New Jersey. And if you have no idea what fibrosis is, or if you are months out after surgery and have fibrosis, and you're like, what is she talking about, lymphatic massages? I don't even understand what that map means. What is any of this? Take the course. It's in our post-op shop, as well as all the foams and things you need. That is also there. The link is in the description box, as well as in our bio on our Instagram. And you know where to reach me. I think that's it, right?
That's it.
Okay. Sono Bello's not bad, guys. They just don't tell you anything. They don't explain anything. They don't teach you anything, and you're left to fumble through life on your own until you hit the 2-month mark and you're done fumbling, and you're like, all right, I fumbled so much that this does not look right.
Actually, the way I see it is they only get you through the surgery.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's their job. That's what you're paying them for.
That's what you're paying them for.
You're just paying them for surgery. You're paying me for everything else.
Yeah.
It's my job to make sure you understand every step of the way what's normal, what's not normal, what's supposed to happen, what's not supposed to happen, how it's supposed to go, what's safe, what's not safe, how garments work, how foams work, how all of this stuff works. So that's my job, not theirs. And I know that sucks to hear, guys, but that's what you're paying them for. Like, you're literally paying them just for the surgery.
Yeah.
That's it. Everything else, whether you wait 2 days or 2 months, you're still going to have to see me for it. Because you waited 2 months and you still had to see me.
I mean, it's just not worth the risk not doing anything at all. That really is. I mean, the what I was feeling and the fibrosis that I was feeling, it was really starting to concern, which is why I had to do something, because it was weirdly hard and it was not going in the right direction. So, and what you said earlier was that it could potentially become a much bigger problem.
Well, it was on the path to becoming a much bigger problem, because that started right after surgery and increasingly got worse until it got so bad that you were like, all right.
So if you do nothing, you're really making it worse.
Yeah.
Do something.
Just don't do the rubbing of yourself, and don't do the rollers,
well, it's
and
not
don't
gonna
do
work.
the oil massage, and don't do all the things that don't make sense. Do the things on the map.
It's not going to work.
Take the course.
If you're going to invest in the surgery, and follow through with the healing. That's it. That's just it. Don't stop at the surgery. Do the whole thing. And had I known how much money this was all going to be, maybe that would have changed my mind, because it did turn out to be more. I wouldn't take it back now that it all happened. But for somebody like me, I like to know things up front and make a practical decision from there. But it was quite surprising in the difference. Necessary, but quite.
Yeah.
That's it.
Definitely plan for your aftercare.
Yeah.
Plan for all that.
Yeah, plan for it.
Plan for having something saved for your aftercare.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's pretty much it.
That's it.
Okay. I love you.
I love you.
I love you. I love you. I will see you guys soon. Ashley with Amare, you know where to reach me. Guys, just please make smart choices. That's it. And if you're making choices and you're realizing, like, oh, damn, I don't know anything about this, I have the resources for you to know things, like this video. So just do your research, actually your research, because the difference between you doing your research and then you coming to me, like somebody who's certified in this and telling you what to do, was very, very different. That was like
I wasted days researching the road that led me to lymphatic massage therapy, that road that led me to you.
Yeah.
So,
and then by the time you got to me,
I could have fucking skipped all that and been here 6 weeks earlier, you know?
And all the stuff that you were researching anyway, I was like, that's not quite how that works. That's not how the body works. That's not how the phases of healing work. That's not how anything works, actually.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of garbage out there, but at the end of the day, that's why I just kind of paraphrased and said all roads led me to lymphatic massage. Yes, there's a lot of information, a lot of garbage out there, but it's just like everything else on the internet. So be diligent.
Check your source.
Yeah, be diligent, check your source, and really understand what it is that you need to do for your healing.
That's why you have me, because you don't have to figure it out.
I didn't want to do it on my own. I wanted it in person. I wanted somebody that can teach me and
through it.
Yeah. Thank God.
Yeah, that's me.
That's
Alright,
you.
we will catch you guys later. Ashley with Amare and my lovely lady.
Bye, guys.
Shall not be named. Bye.